everybody, it's Frankie-Lou. I'm coming to you today from the mountainside greenhouse in the sky. We're super excited to be able to start planting in here. It's still a bit of a construction zone, but we wanted to make the most of this season and get it started. I will be doing more garden tours as this develops and as we get more planted. But for today, I thought it would be a good idea to start talking about how we're maintaining this wonderfully rich, nourished soil and maintaining that with some of our practices here. And one of the things that we do here quite extensively is companion planting. Everything in this garden is planted amongst other plants that help with all sorts of things like structural support, pest control, and bringing different nutrients to the soil. These are all companion plant combos that I have practiced in other locations, and particularly in the high tunnel here last year. We tried some of these for the first time and we're super excited about how they work. So now we're very, very excited to be able to implement them in this greenhouse, which will be for season, as we are using both geothermal and passive solar technology and design here. Don't worry, there will be lots more about that coming as well, but we just got to get to the point where it doesn't look like a construction zone, and then I promise we're going to share lots of the wonderful things that went into the design of this place. I want to take you here and show you my potato corn bed, because this is a companion plant combo that has been working wonderfully for us. Okay, please do excuse the mess. As you can see, we still are in the middle of construction, but we did want to get going here. This is one of the first beds we planted up here in the greenhouse. What we have in here are potatoes, which were chitted. I did, and there's lots of videos on potato prep for planting if you want to look those up on my channel. But we did chit these potatoes, so having done that, these potatoes popped within days of planting them in here. We also plant alongside the potatoes corn. We found last year that the corn and the potatoes work really, really well together. And then next to each corn, we also have a pea. I think in this case, the peas that we used were one of my own hybrids from a purple variety and avalanche snow peas together. We also have beans, and in this case, I believe we use scarlet runners. Doing it this way, we are getting so much more out of this soil. If you only planted the potatoes in this area, you would then get one crop out. But because the potatoes don't compete with the corn goes up, the potatoes go down, there's very little competition. I have struggled with corn since I moved from the West Coast to Alberta, and this homestead as well is in Golden, and we struggled with corn here because these are both zone 3 areas, which is why we're now planting in the greenhouse so that we can get a nice crop. We're using peaches and cream. I found that is a shorter season delicious corn, so that's what we're using. And we were getting a wonderful, wonderful crop last year. I was so excited until the bears broke into the high tunnel and they took care of it for us. So really only my chickens got a bit of the scraps of that crop last year, but it was coming along so nicely. And so this year we're going to be able to harvest hopefully corn, potatoes, beans, and peas from this central unit here. That is a lot of crops growing in what would normally be dedicated to just one crop. So not only do these plants support each other, for instance, the beans are nitrogen fixers and the peas are nitrogen fixers, so that's helping to feed the corn and the potatoes here. So they're supporting each other that way, but we're also going to get so much more product out of this one area. And it's also rather beautiful. I know that it looks rather weedy right now. That's on purpose. Most of this is lamb's quarter, which I will harvest in about 2 weeks' time when it's about this size. And I consider that a food crop. There will be whole other videos on lamb's quarter as a food crop. It's a weed that's going to come up. I just grow it to a point where I want to eat it, and then I harvest and preserve it. So yes, it does look very weedy right now, but that's also helping to keep the soil covered, reducing the amount of watering that I'm doing. Once I've harvested all this lamb's quarter in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to put a whole bunch of mulch down as well, because that's going to help with my moisture retention. Now, I've done the 3 rows of potatoes here. I've got corn, peas, and beans growing in the middle, and then I've got another row of just corn and potatoes. On the outer edges, all around this garden, I have got garlic, marigolds, cilantro, and various lettuces. Well, normally you don't want to place anything in the allium family like onions or leeks or garlic or chives near peas, but because I do have this barrier of corn and potatoes in between the middle layer and this layer, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be okay. I haven't had a problem with that. As long as there's some sort of barrier plant between, I've found that I can get away with playing a little bit with my plant combos, and this worked last year. So the peas did great last year, even though there was onions and garlic on the outside. Onions are a really good pest deterrent for the potatoes, as are the marigolds. Marigolds are edible. I don't like the flavor myself, but they're beautiful. This garden is going to look gorgeous. In another 2 weeks' time, it's going to look absolutely beautiful. I will show that to you at that time, once we get everything planted on a little bit. And we're going to be able to harvest lettuces and also some cilantro from here as well. So this is one combo that I'm really excited about. I will show you progress as we come along. I will also share other combos, companion plant combos that are working really well in future videos. But today, as this one is the furthest along, I wanted to show you who doesn't like corn and peas and potatoes. This is going to be a delicious, delicious harvest that we're going to get from here, and it's going to look beautiful as well and be super productive. So I hope that's helpful. Please do send questions. I know you're going to have a lot about this greenhouse. It's an amazing space. I feel so privileged to be able to be here in this space. I still am also homesteading at the Springbank location. So busy girl, but I will try to share some of our adventures in gardening and homesteading from both locations as we go along. And as always, I hope you'll take this chance to grow together today. Have a good one.